Hello, everyone. This is Carol Turquoise. Pardon me if my position looks awkward. It's because I don't have my stand with me. Um, I'm making some changes on YouTube, and I don't know if they're viable because there might be some forces at work trying to disable my intentions and disable my actions. As you all know, there is an age verification law, and I'm doing something to evade that law, but I'll try and stay on YouTube as long as I possibly can. But there might be some actions or forces or laws that are going to disable what I'm doing. I'm on a VPN, and I'm already getting some signs that there's suspicion about my activity on the internet. I use a VoIP phone, and I got threatened with deletion of my account on my VoIP phone because I was using a VPN, and because they make you read a book of rules and guidelines and regulations on that VoIP account. I had forgotten about that part. I'm not supposed to use a VPN when I use that VoIP phone, and I almost got kicked out of that. So I don't know what's going to happen on YouTube. Some people are using VPNs. Others claim that VPNs don't work, but I looked up an article on Cyber News and found out that it does work. It does help a lot with, because it makes YouTube think that you're broadcasting from another country, that you're browsing from another country. So anyway, enough of that. I also made another decision that was difficult. I went back and forth on one decision. I had decided back in January to leave API. I'm going to keep on naming that program. It was an outpatient program in San Diego, and I left for my reasons, and I put the place in question on review, and I got a call from the management, and they said, call us if you, and they put a phone number down that I didn't recognize. It wasn't a phone number that was the IOP. They put a phone number that I didn't recognize, and I waited several months to see if I could piece together some words, what I wanted to say to them. And finally I was ready to call them last Sunday and leave them a message. And I called them. I thought it was the patient relations phone number, and it probably was the patient relations phone number. But it got back to the local manager of the program, and I was hoping that it wouldn't, but it did. It operates the same way our apartment management operates. I called the upper management of our apartment complex about the neighbor's noise again, and it got back to our on-site manager again, and she didn't do anything about it. So the noise is continuing, and I'm being kept awake all hours. I'm being kept awake at their whim. They can keep me awake whenever they want. I even wonder if I'm being surveilled by them. Just a lot of stuff, and the management isn't doing anything about it. In fact, they might even be in on it. Well, the IOP operates in a similar way in as much as my call got forward, or maybe I should say backwarded, to the local management, and he called me back Sunday night, and I was a little surprised he called me on a Sunday, but he called my number from his phone, and maybe he has access to the company from his computer. I don't know, since he's managing the program. He called me and he said, thank you for calling. You're welcome to come back if you want. And I was really tempted by that "you're welcome to come back" part. I called him back a couple minutes later, and I told him I was interested in coming back, but you know why I left. I didn't want to leave, but I left because you were doing this, 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 and this, and I suspect this, 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 and this, and this was going on. I'm not going to go into it anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter why anymore. But I left for some reasons that I thought were very important at the time. And I told him that. I said, I left. You know why I left. I felt like you were saying something, and, that I don't agree with. We're having kind of like a conflict of interest, or, we're disagreeing on something. But I didn't want to leave. But that was why I left. I did not want to have to leave the program. I like the program. It's a nice program. He thanked me for the compliment. And then he goes, well, if you want to come back, and I said, well, I'm thinking about coming back. I miss it. And then I asked him a question that, looking back, I don't know if it was the most ethical question in the world. I said, is Ursula still there? And he told me she wasn't there. But it was kind of interesting. He looked like he was looking up something on the system. Maybe he was on the computer. Maybe that was how he found out that I called. I don't know. Maybe he was monitoring the voicemail system or something, the patient interest number. And I thought that was looking back. I thought that was a little bit weird. He had access to the database. The people going to the program from home. He called me from his phone, his private phone, and he goes, "No, she's not here anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, is she okay?" Well, she moved, and then he changed his answer again. I said, "Well, FYI, I think I saw her around. I saw her on one of the buses. I don't think she left San Diego, and I think she was still taking the same route home, because she was taking the same route I always saw her take before." And he goes, "Well, and he's like that. Well, she's no longer coming here. She made a decision. She's not coming here anymore. She left." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, but I really miss," and he's like, "Well, if you it sounds like you want to come back. We'll see if we can get you readmitted again." And I said, "Well, you can call me and let me know if you have an opening." So I thought he was going to call me back. I thought he was going to call me again Monday. Today's Thursday. I thought he was going to call me on Monday, and he didn't. And he had someone call me on Tuesday. Somebody called me up on Tuesday, and it was a different person. And I thought, well, maybe that's the admit person, the intake. So I called him back Tuesday night. I left him a message on Tuesday night, and I had to go to the DMV. I had to go to the DMV on Wednesday, and I told him, I said, "I have to go to the DMV, but you can call me back Thursday." Well, today's Thursday. I didn't get a call. Today's Thursday right now. No call. I didn't get a call Wednesday night either. Wednesday evening, and he had called me, the other person had called me at the end of the day. So it's not like he was at home from work and on his, he could have called me last night, and he could have called me today, and he didn't. So I thought, well, first of all, I'm still getting this really weird feeling that Ezekiel is lying to me. That's the manager. Ezekiel's lying to me, and I'm giving him a pseudonym. And this other guy, Mason, he didn't call back. So, for one thing, I'm not too thrilled about going back, and I got this really weird feeling they're not too thrilled with me coming back. So, I made a decision that's difficult. I called Mason back, and I said, I'm not going to be coming back right now. I might change my mind later, but I decided not to come back. And this was after I'd also gotten some advice from my mentor in Canada and from a few associates of his, a few people that were giving him support, and they were all even kind of angry with me today because I was thinking about going back, and they were looking out for me. They're like Jean Carroll, how can you do that after all the work you did trying to get over Ursula and all the work you did trying to even deal with what happened? You went through a traumatic thing. You're now under the care of someone else. You're going to another clinic now. And I said, well, I'm just so isolated right now. That was the truth. I miss the idea of going someplace every day, and being with people every day. I miss that. And they're like, Carol, you need to work harder on getting yourself that. You don't need to go back to that program. And they basically treated me like an adult. They're like, Carol, you know it's not going to be good for you to go back there. You know that. You know better than that. And usually I don't like it when people talk to me like that. But they are people I trust. I trust my mentor with my life and his associates. And I haven't told my roommate yet. My roommate still thinks I'm going back. But I think he'll understand. He was concerned about me, maybe Zeke lying to me. So, I don't know. I just got this really weird feeling that someone is not being honest with me and someone is just fobbing me off. They could have called me back in a more timely manner. If I made the first phone call on Sunday, so Zeke calls me on Sunday, he calls me on Sunday, but he doesn't call me on Monday. And then this other guy calls me Tuesday night when he knows that they're closed. He calls me. He doesn't call me on Wednesday. He knows I'm at the DMV, but he doesn't call me Wednesday night. I told him when I would be getting back in. I told him when I would be available. No call. That feels a little weird, you guys. And I don't want to beg. In fact, my mentor's associate told me, I want you to make a plan here. A suggested plan would be if they don't call, don't call. If they do call, tell them you won't be coming back. Well, they didn't call, so I didn't call to say I wanted to go back. But I did think, okay, I want to show some respect and some good faith. So I called and left a message and said, no, I don't want to at this time. I might change my mind later, but I don't want to at this time. So I'm not closing the door all the way. I'm not acting like an absolute purist and saying no, 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 no. But I'm also not leaving myself wide open. I want to come back. I'm not doing that either. I'm acting like an adult here. I'm making an adult decision. And I know I'm going to be okay. Alright, I'm going to upload this video and use the VPN. Talk later. You're loved. God bless.